Ever stared down an alligator and wondered, is that actually a crocodile? Or seen a sea lion and thought, wait, that's a seal, right? Animals can be sneaky like that, and today, we're clearing up the confusion with some of the most commonly mistaken critters out there. Spoiler alert, some might blow your mind. Ready to separate fact from fiction? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm here to help you settle some of those age-old animal debates. We'll be breaking down key differences between animals commonly mistaken with each other. By the end of this video, you'll be a pro at telling these lookalikes apart. So, grab your safari hat and let's get wild. First up, let's tackle the big one: alligators versus crocodiles. These two are basically the twins of the reptile world, and they love to keep us guessing. But here's the scoop. Let's start with the snout. Alligators have broad, U-shaped snouts, which are ideal for crushing prey like turtles. Crocodiles, on the other hand, rock a more V-shaped snout, perfect for their hunting style, which includes catching fish and small mammals. So if you see a round snout, think U for United States because that's where alligators mostly hang out. Crocs? They've got a more pointed snout, making them look like the sharp hunters they are. Next up, the teeth. If you're close enough to see an alligator or a crocodile's teeth, which, let's be real, I hope you're not, alligators are a bit more polite. When they close their mouths, you can only see their upper teeth because their lower teeth fit snugly into their upper jaw. Crocs? They can't help but show off all their teeth, even with their mouths shut, like they're always ready for a photo op. Now, let's talk geography. Alligators are homebodies. They mostly hang out in the southeastern United States, especially in Florida and Louisiana. Crocodiles, however, are world travelers. They live in Africa, Australia, Southeast Asia, and parts of the Americas. And here's a cool fact: crocs can tolerate salt water, while alligators stick to fresh water. So, whether it's snout shape, tooth display, or choice of vacation spot, there are some key ways to tell these reptiles apart. But they're still both total apex predators, so maybe just give them both some space. Next up, we've got snakes versus legless lizards. Yep, legless lizards are a thing. And no, not every creature without legs is a snake. These two are masters of disguise, but let's break it down. One of the biggest differences? Eyelids. Snakes are always wide-eyed. They don't have eyelids and can't blink. It's part of their whole mysterious, staring-you-down vibe. Legless lizards, on the other hand, can blink and even close their eyes to sleep. So if it's blinking at you, it's probably not a snake. Next, let's look at the ears. Snakes don't have external ear openings. They hear by picking up vibrations through their jawbones. Legless lizards, though, they've got visible ear holes on the sides of their heads, so keep an eye out for those. Another giveaway is how they move and eat. Snakes have incredibly flexible jaws, allowing them to swallow prey whole, no matter how big. Legless lizards, on the other hand, have a more limited diet and can't gulp down huge meals like snakes can. When it comes to moving, legless lizards tend to use their whole body in more of a side-to-side wave, while snakes slither in that classic S shape. So, next time you see a long, slinky creature slithering by, check for eyelids and ear holes. You might just be looking at a legless lizard in disguise. Now, let's hop over to frogs versus toads. This one's a classic. People often lump these two together, but despite being in the same family, they've got some noticeable differences. Let's start with their skin. Frogs are all about the smooth and slimy life. Their skin is moist and often needs to stay that way because frogs usually live close to water. Toads, though, have dry, bumpy skin that looks a bit like they've just crawled out of the dirt. And that's because toads are far less dependent on water than frogs. In fact, toads can often be found far away from water sources, chilling in drier environments. Next up, legs. Frogs are the athletes of the amphibian world. They've got long, powerful legs designed for jumping, sometimes up to 20 times their own body length. Toads, on the other hand, are more low-key. Their legs are shorter, and they prefer to walk or make little hops rather than take massive leaps. If you're ever confused, just think of frogs as the wet, smooth, athletic cousins and toads as the tough, bumpy, laid-back relatives who prefer a slower pace and a drier setting. Now onto rabbits versus hares. These guys look so similar that most people think they're just two names for the same animal. But nope, they're actually different species with distinct lifestyles. Let's talk about size. Hares are typically larger than rabbits, with longer hind legs and bigger ears. These legs make hares built for speed. They can run up to 45 miles per hour, making them some of the fastest animals in their habitats. Rabbits, on the other hand, are smaller and more compact, relying more on their ability to hide rather than outrun predators. Another major difference? Where they live. Rabbits are burrowers. They dig intricate underground homes called warrens, where they live in groups. Hares, though, are more independent and don't dig burrows. Instead, they create small nests in the grass called forms and are usually solitary creatures. And here's a fun fact. Baby rabbits, called kits, are born blind and hairless, completely dependent on their mothers. But baby hares, or leverets, are born fully furred and with their eyes open, ready to hop away if danger comes. Talk about being born ready. Next, let's flutter into the world of moths versus butterflies. At first glance, they seem almost identical, but once you look a bit closer, the differences are night and day, literally. The easiest difference? Time of day. Butterflies are day creatures, fluttering around flowers in the sunlight. Moths, on the other hand, are nocturnal and do most of their activity after dark. So if you see one of these flying beauties during the day, it's probably a butterfly. At night? Most likely a moth. Another difference is their resting posture. Butterflies rest with their wings closed, showing off their pretty underside patterns, while moths rest with their wings open, covering their backs like a cloak. And then there's the antennae. Butterfly antennae are thin with a little club at the end, while moths' antennae tend to be feathery or thread-like, making them look a bit fuzzier. So whether it's the time of day, their wing position, or their antenna style, there are plenty of ways to tell these two apart. Now, onto sea lions versus seals. These marine mammals often get lumped together, but they've got some key differences. First off, let's talk the ears. Sea lions have visible external ear flaps, while seals just have small ear holes. No flaps. So, if you see a pinniped with ears you can actually see, it's a sea lion. Next, let's look at how they move. Sea lions are much more agile on land because they can rotate their rear flippers forward and walk around on all fours like an awkward dog. Seals, on the other hand, are pretty clumsy on land. They move more like an inchworm, bouncing and dragging themselves along. And of course, their personalities. Sea lions are the louder, more social ones, often seen in groups barking and playing. Seals are quieter and tend to be more solitary, preferring to chill out in the water or on a remote beach. Last but not least, we've got the battle of the fluff. Llamas versus alpacas. They're both part of the camelid family, but they're actually pretty different when you get up close. The easiest way to tell them apart is their size. Llamas are much bigger, weighing around 300 pounds, while alpacas are more petite, weighing closer to 150 pounds. And their faces. Llamas have long, banana-shaped ears and longer, more defined faces, while alpacas have shorter, fluffier faces with small, straight ears. Alpacas basically look like they're ready for a close-up at all times. There's also a difference in their personalities. Llamas are more independent and are often used as guard animals to protect livestock. Alpacas, on the other hand, are more herd-oriented and tend to be a bit more shy and gentle. And there you have it. The next time someone asks you to spot the difference between a sea lion and a seal, or they mix up a frog and a toad, you'll be the expert in the room. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I bet you'll also love this other video right here about the biggest balls in the animal kingdom. Be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.